ఆఫ్టర్నూన్, గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్. మీరు వింటున్నారు ప్రవాసాంధ్రులు గుండె చప్పుడు తెలుగు ఎన్ఆర్ఐ రేడియో. మరి నేను మీ అందరి నుంచి సౌజన్య వచ్చేసాను. అండ్ ఎస్, టుడే వి ఆర్ హియర్ విత్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ అటార్నీ శ్రీమతి ప్రశాంతి గారు. అండ్ టుడే షీఈస్ హియర్ టు షేర్ మెనీ డౌట్స్ and many more updates about green cards and H4 visa updates and everything. So without any delay, let's welcome her. So namaste Prashanthi gar, how are you?
Hello Andy, Sowjanya garu. Good Andy, I'm good, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And once again, heartiest welcome to you to our Telugu NRI Radio. And really, we appreciate your patience and you are sparing so much of time to clear all our doubts regarding H4 visas and some green card updates and everything.
My pleasure.
Yes. So yeah, let us start. So the thing is, from past, like there are many pending green cards since like many like 60 to 70,000. So and are there anything update regarding those? Because is there anything like from the government or USCIS like they'll be clearing all these pending green cards?
So yes, we got some updates in June, July. Updates until they basically USCIS has told us how they're processing cases. They're hoping to clear, all cases before September, because as we know, October la malli new fiscal year starts.
Right.
So whatever visa numbers are there for this year, they have to approve them by September, end of September. Because after that, then they have to go based on the numbers which are in the new fiscal year, and we don't know basically October new fiscal year numbers, what they're going to look like. It could be a retrogression, they could move forward, we don't know. So avanni numbers waste kakunta, they have to process it this year itself. That we all know. So they've given some tips with reference to, a lot of the cases that are pending now are downgrade cases. Ante manam 2000 lo file chesina cases evaraithe EB2 nunchi EB3 I-140 move ayinro, వాళ్ళు what they did is they downgraded their I-140, and that means they refiled it as an EB3, and then they filed the 485 simultaneously. So all those I-140s are pending. So they've given some tips. So basically, one of the tips seems to be that even though USCIS is saying don't refile, so the whole thing they're talking about is interfiling, kada, now. Now what has happened now is that all those EB3 cases have gone back, have retrogressed, and EB2 has moved forward. We are seeing that trend from the last few months.
Yes.
So they are saying, they are asking us to interfile, meaning request for, if you have an EB2 case and an EB3 I-140, they're asking to write a letter to USCIS and fill out a 485J and request for use of the EB2 I-140.
Okay.
And so they will use the EB2 dates, and as per the EB2 dates, if you are current, then they are trying to process before September ending.
Okay.
But some people are also refiling their 485. They are doing interfiling, but they are also filing a new 485.
Okay, so madam, here నాకు ఒక డౌట్ ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు ఫైలింగ్ చేసినప్పుడు మనకి జీసీకి వాటికి ఫైల్ చేయాలన్నప్పుడు మనకి ఎంతో కొంత అమౌంట్ పే చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. అండ్ మళ్ళీ రీఫైల్ చేసినప్పుడు మళ్ళీ మనం పే చేయాలా ఎక్స్ట్రా, ఆర్ సేమ్ అమౌంట్ తోని అది క్యారీ అవుతుందా?
మళ్ళీ we have to refile అంటే మళ్ళీ మొత్తం we have to pay the entire fee. Adult ki 1225, so you have to pay the entire fee. But it seems some people are saying that refiling is yielding better results. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు రీఫైల్ చేస్తే డైరెక్ట్లీ ఎన్బిసికి పోతుంది కదా, ఇట్స్ గోయింగ్ టు నేషనల్ బెనిఫిట్ సెంటర్.
కానీ అవుతుంది, కానీ రీఫైలింగ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 2010 లో ఫైలింగ్ చేశారు, రైట్, వాళ్ళది పెండింగ్ లో ఉంది. మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఇయర్ వాళ్ళు రీఫైల్ చేస్తే ఆ రీఫైలింగ్ వల్ల ఇయర్ అనేది చేంజ్ అవుతుంది కదా?
నో, కాదు. సో వాట్ విల్ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ ఇస్ ద ఫైలింగ్ డేట్. మీరు అన్నట్టు ఇప్పుడు 485 ఫైల్ చేస్తే దానికి ప్రాసెసింగ్ టైం అనేది ఉంటది, వీసా నంబర్ అవైలబుల్ ఉన్నా కూడా. సో if you file now, it will be as if you filed today. So the processing time will be whatever time it takes. 10 months, 12 months, sometimes it. But the thing is, now when you're refiling, we are seeing some cases which are getting approved in 2 months, 3 months.
Okay.
The 485 new cases, especially EB1 and some EB2 cases, because they're going directly to, they're not stuck in Texas Service Center, they're not stuck in అక్కడ అన్ని స్టక్ అయి ఉన్నాయి కదా, అవి మూవ్ అవుతలేవు అసలు.
రైట్.
సో మూవ్ అయినాయి, కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్ గా ప్రాసెస్ చేస్తున్నారు. సో దీస్ కేసెస్ గో డైరెక్ట్లీ టు ఎన్బిసి కనుక, ఫ్రమ్ ఎన్బిసి దే గో డైరెక్ట్లీ టు ద లోకల్ ఫీల్డ్ ఆఫీసెస్. వాళ్ళకి ఇంటర్వ్యూ తీసుకునేది ఉంటే దే విల్ షెడ్యూల్ యూ ఫర్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ. ఇఫ్ దే డోంట్, దే థింక్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఇస్ నాట్ నెసెసరీ, దే ఆర్ డైరెక్ట్లీ అప్రూవింగ్. సో ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ సేయింగ్ దట్ keep that in mind. Refiling is not necessarily a bad thing, except for the money that you will be losing.
Right.
Something to keep in mind. So definitely do interfiling, but also keep in mind refiling also.
యా, ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు 2014 లో ఫైల్ చేసిన వాళ్ళకి ఆ ఇయర్ డేట్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి ఇప్పుడు జేసీ వచ్చేస్తుంది. బట్ ద థింగ్ ఈస్ మెనీ పీపుల్ లైక్ రీసెంట్లీ వెన్ వి మెట్ అవర్ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అండ్ సమ్ అదర్ ఫంక్షన్స్ ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్, everyone is talking that they are వాళ్ళది 2010 year 2011 year, బట్ స్టిల్ ఇప్పటికే వాళ్ళకి ఇంకా జీసీ రాలేదు.
సో మీ కరెక్ట్.
యా, సో మీరు అన్నట్టుగా లైక్ నాట్ 2014, బిఫోర్ దట్, ప్రియర్ టు 2014 ఎవరైనా ఫైల్ చేసి ఉంటే వాళ్ళు రీఫైలింగ్ కి అప్లై చేయడం బెటర్ అంటారు, రైట్?
ఇట్ ఇస్ డెఫినెట్లీ అన్ ఆప్షన్. నేను బెటర్ వర్స్ అన్నాను కానీ ఇట్స్ అడిషనల్ ఆప్షన్ దట్ యు హ్యావ్, దట్ యు కెన్ యూస్ డిపెండింగ్ ఆన్ యువర్ ఫైనాన్సెస్, అండ్ you have to make that decision.
Right.
Kada, endukante malli you have to pay the fees and all that.
Main
no guarantee. Ade fees plus mana guarantee ledhu kada. Chudochu chudakpochu, manam chance తీసుకుంటున్నాం అంతే.
Right. Correct.
But they have been positive results for a lot of people.
Okay. So madam, ఇప్పుడు 2014 year వాళ్ళది జీసీ వచ్చేస్తుంది. సో దీని ముందు లైక్ 2013, 2010 to 2013 మధ్యలోని జీసీ ఫైల్ చేసిన వాళ్ళు పెండింగ్ ఉన్నాయి. ఆ కేసెస్ ఎప్పుడు కంప్లీట్ అవుతాయి అనేది ఏమైనా అప్డేట్ ఉందా? అంటే సెప్టెంబర్ లోపల అవుతుందా, లేకపోతే మళ్ళీ అది నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ కి ఏమైనా పోస్ట్పోన్ అవుతుందా ఆ పెండింగ్ కేసెస్ అని?
సో ఇప్పుడు as per the rule they are supposed to process the oldest priority dates first and then process current priority date. ante kada 2014 ante right from the beginning to 2014 everything they have to process.
Okay.
But what is happening is ఇప్పుడు 2020 లో ఫైల్ చేసిన కేసెస్ కి చాలా మనం, as we just discussed, a lot of them are downgrades. So those I-140s have to get approved first, and the I-140s are taking time to get approved.
Correct.
And if you have a pending I-140, they are not transferring those cases to NBC. So that means they're getting stuck in Texas or Vermont, right? So that's why మనం మీ downgrade చేసిన cases, EB3 cases అవి useless ఎట్లయినా ఇప్పుడు, because now EB2 is current. So if you have done that, either do interfiling immediately or just refile your case or do both. Right?
Okay.
So
right.
Basically another tip is when you're doing interfiling, మీరు వేరే ఏం డాక్యుమెంట్స్ అటాచ్ చేయకూడదు. దానికి కొందరు మెడికల్స్ అటాచ్ చేస్తున్నారు with the interfiling request because they didn't send their medicals when they first sent the case. So don't send your medicals, they will not reach your file, they will go into the garbage. సో అది లాభం లేదు. మీరు మెడికల్స్ RFE కొరకు వెయిట్ చేయవలసిందే, వాళ్ళు అడిగినప్పుడు మెడికల్స్ మనం ఇవ్వాలి. సో ద బెస్ట్, అదర్ దెన్ instead of doing all that, when you file your case itself, file a complete case with the medicals. Don't say I'll file medicals later, I will give birth certificate later. మీరు అట్లా చేస్తే then you'll get an RFE and your case will get delayed because first of all sending the RFE is a delay. They will not send it immediately. And once you send documents, they will not look at that RFE response also immediately.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So make sure you send a complete application.
Okay, got it. So yeah. అయితే మేడం ఇప్పుడు గ్రీన్ కార్డ్ 2023 ఫ్యామిలీ బేస్డ్ లెఫ్ట్ ఓవర్ దాని గురించి ఏమైనా అప్డేట్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
Yeah, so basically what's happening with the family based cases is as we know last year asalu family based immigrant processing అనేది consulates లో కాలేదు అసలు, ఎందుకంటే all the consulates were closed. So ఏమైందంటే because those family based numbers were not used last year and the year before, they kept getting added on to the employment based cases. So now the employment based cases had a surplus of numbers. But అది కూడా అంత లాభం కాలేదు, ఎందుకంటే USCIS was not able to process the cases on time.
Okay.
So మనకు surplus numbers ఉన్నా they were not able to use all those numbers.
Okay. So madam ఇప్పుడు sorry to interrupt. సో ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఇన్ని పెండింగ్ కేసెస్ ఉండిపోయాయి కదా, సో ఆ పెండింగ్ కేసు ఉండడం కారణం ఏంటంటారు? వై సో మెనీ? ఇప్పుడు వందలు వేరే సంగతి, ఇప్పుడు 100 లేకపోతే 1000 అనేది వేరు, బట్ అది 60,000 70,000 అది అలాగా పెరుగుతున్న కొద్దీ వాట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ వై ఇట్స్ గెటింగ్ కంప్లీట్లీ డిలేడ్ ఆర్ పెండింగ్ ఎందుకు ఎక్కువ అయిపోతున్నాయి?
సో ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ ఇస్, మీరు అడిగింది ఫ్యామిలీ బేస్డ్ కేసెస్ ఇప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ ఏమవుతుంది అనేది. నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ ఇప్పుడు like I said, the family based cases which were not being processed, now all those cases are being processed in the consulate. They are giving priority to all the family based immigrant cases. So as of May, they processed more cases in half a year this year than what they processed in the entire year last year, 2021.
Okay.
So they're really processing fast. So we cannot expect that there will be that many extra visa numbers that are going to fall into the employment based category. So the outlook for next year is basically that may not be that good. Anni extra numbers lekundochu. So visa ippudu dates progress avodu will not be that rapid as it was last year for EB2 or EB3.
Right.
Okay. So with reference to your question about why this delay, what is this backlog? Combination of things. So first thing is due to the pandemic. In 2020, USCIS was closed. So a lot of cases got backlogged. So they didn't work on those cases. Then second thing is because people were not coming into the country, people were not filing, jobs were at a standstill. USCIS gets its money through filing fees.
Right.
And so they did not have, they're saying they did not have that filing fees in the first 6 months of 2020. So now their USCIS, their budget, they're basically bankrupt. They have no money.
Okay.
So they had to lay off a lot of people. So now so that is why backlogs, that is why delays. They didn't have people to process. They didn't have the money to process the case.
Okay.
So now presently they have started hiring. There's a massive hiring surge. There's 4,000 positions that they need to fill. Oh my God. 4,000. And the Congress has given them 275 million in funds. Yeah, they've given them a lot of money. They have started hiring people, but they're still 20% down on their hiring because it's not easy to find people again, right? They have to meet certain criteria. They have to qualify.
Right.
It's not easy, and we still have COVID. There are a lot of constraints still.
Yes. Still it's
so you are saying they have 9 million pending cases, Andy.
9 million? Oh my God.
Yeah. All the cases together.
So madam, I think this is the first time kada inni pending cases undadam anedi before ipude jarigindi illa.
Yeah. Always they are backlogged, but they somehow manage to clear the backlog. By the end of the year, they hire new, independent contractors, etc. But this pandemic anedi is obviously something new that has happened, and also inefficiency and anale. They were not, as efficient as they could be. So everything combined together, lack of transparency. Where are those funds going? So much of money is being given. So what is happening to the money? We don't know all that. So, it's all a combined thing.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. So nice. So, madam, alternatives to H1 and visa bulletin for September. Are there any updates for these H1 visas? And also, what to expect for employment-based green card numbers next year?
Right. So we discussed employment-based green card numbers will not look as good as it looked in the previous years because, as I was saying, they are processing more family-based cases outside the country. And Mumbai Consulate had a backlog of 500,000 cases, 500,000 cases.
Oh my God.
So they are processing those cases this year. So we can expect that the family-based cases, visa numbers will be used, and they may not be that much of surplus, worldwide as well, which will fall into employment base. So we can't expect that.
Hello? Hello, Prashanthi garu? Hello?
First week or second week, we will know what the October visa bulletin will look like. So that will give us an indication.
Okay. So yeah. So and Prashanthi garu, are there
Hello?
any more updates regarding visas or green cards? Anything which you want to share with us? Hello? I think Prashanthi garu, your voice is cutting. There is a disturbance in your voice. Hello? Hello, Prashanthi garu? Okay, so as you are all hearing Prashanthi garu, she's explaining all the green cards and H1 visas and all the updates. So if you have any doubts, any problem regarding all these things, you can just give us a call on. Yeah, Prashanthi garu.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It got
So
dropped.
yeah. So are there any updates which you want to share regarding H1 visas or green card updates? Anything?
Yeah. So basically, going back to the USCIS problems, they have. So right now, each new officer they have to take a 6 weeks training course. For in order to get into the USCIS. So they can't just hire anyone. So that's also causing some issues. But some good news is that they are digitizing the records, which means that right now when you do interfiling, they have to actually get the physical file from wherever location it is, and they have to mail it to the another location wherever they are processing the case, because the cases are not digitized.
Right.
So now they are moving towards digitization of records. So hopefully, we will again see some decrease in backlogs. Also, we know that EAD forms, there has been a lot of delay getting EADs. So they're looking at automating that EAD application, because EAD is a simple application. It shouldn't take so long to process it. So they're looking at some kind of machine automation so that, if as long as everything is tick marked correctly, the computer can recognize it and, approve the case. So they're looking at that as well. And also electronic processing. Right now, if we have to send out a case, we have to print out 300 pages and send it by FedEx. And then they have to scan it and make it a digitized copy. Instead, if we send them soft copies, then, it makes everybody's life easier, less expense, less waste, and more efficiency.
Right.
They're also trying to electronic, basically digitize the fee payment as well. So we don't have to send in checks. So all these initiatives they have, but it's difficult to say, when it's going to be implemented. Another initiative is expansion of premium processing.
Okay.
So they want to expand premium processing, as you know. If you pay 2,500, they will process your case in 30 days.
Okay.
Instead of the normal processing time. So it's, so they wanted to make that possible for EADs, for EB1 green cards, So for a lot more cases than they have now.
Okay.
So that will also be extremely useful. And that is, they're supposed to do it because the White House has asked them to premium processing more cases, but they have not done it yet. It's been over a year. So they're slowly implementing it, but they haven't done, obviously, because they're not able to process even the regular cases in normal processing time. They have to first reach that objective before they can reach the premium processing objective.
Right. Yeah, got it.
And we also know that H4 EADs, they have given an automatic extension of 542 days, right? The new initiative that they have gotten, which means that if your I-94 has not expired, but only your EAD has expired, you get an extension, automatic extension on your EAD for 542 days. So either the extent of the I-94 or 542 days, whichever is more.
Okay.
So automatic extension of EAD for H4s, because we know it was taking 1.5 years, right, for EADs, and people on H4 EADs were losing their jobs because no employer will wait for that long.
Right. So yeah, good. That the extension is very good. So yeah, Prashanthi garu, one more question regarding green card. So how long does it take to get green card after biometrics 2022?
So the biometrics time is not connected to getting a green card. They can do biometrics anytime in the process. So you cannot say that from the date of getting biometrics, it takes a certain amount of time.
Okay.
You can only say that from the date of filing, it should take 12 to 18 months for a 485 to get approved, which is also not happening. So it's difficult to say really what the processing time is right now.
Okay. And how long does NVC take a scheduled interview after documentary qualified 2022?
So we know that there are backlogs for cases that are outside the country. They seem to be clear. They seem to be working on the backlogs faster than before, but they still have about 400,000 cases in backlog. And I hear it's taking up to a year or more to schedule an appointment once NVC clears the documents and says that all the documents are there.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, Prashanthi garu, we have a caller. So let us take the call and see what are the doubts they have regarding H4 visas and green card. Okay. Yeah. So hi, who is on the call?
Hello, madam. Hello, madam.
Yeah. Yes. Can you tell me where are you calling from?
I am Khan calling from Hyderabad. I have two strong doubts.
Okay.
First, I want to immigration doubt I having, madam. First doubt, I'm in India, means I have filed 2 writ petition in Telangana High Court regarding passport. Then they have given a permission to travel to abroad. It is the first Telangana government has given permission to travel. If I move for the higher education, for immigration, Canada process will be rejected or not? That is the doubt.
So US immigration doesn't have anything to do with Canada immigration.
Yes. Why I'm saying clearly means while filing on the case in Telangana High Court, I clearly mentioned Palana cases are there and Telangana government has given permission to travel to abroad for a period of 2 years. And I clearly mentioned that for higher education, I want to travel for abroad. The Telangana government has given permission. And my next step is to approach the consultant and tell all the facts which have done in me, and I want to for studying for higher education, doctorate in immigration to Canada, whether my file was rejected or not. This is the doubt I am having, madam.
అయితే కెనేడియన్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ గురించి మనము ఇవాళ మాట్లాడలేము, ఎందుకంటే నేను కెనేడియన్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ అటార్నీ కాను. సో యుఎస్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ వీ కెన్ టాక్ అబౌట్. కానీ మీరు ఆ క్వశ్చన్ మీరు నాకు అర్థం అవ్వట్లేదు, ఎందుకంటే తెలంగాణ గవర్నమెంట్ మీకు యుఎస్ వీసా అయితే ఇయ్యదు కదా.
కాదు
So
అంటే
I'm not
బిజినెస్లు ఉన్నాయన్నమాట. నేను ఏం చేసిన అంటే నేను బిజినెస్ అయితే క్రిమినల్ కేసు పడితే సివిల్ అయితే నేను కొట్లాడుతున్నా. నేను హైకోర్టులో వేసిన అనమాట. ఇక్కడ బోర్ అయిపోయినా నాకు పర్మిషన్ ఇవ్వండి, రినివల్ చేసుకుంటే నేను అబ్రాడ్ కి వెళ్దామని వేస్తే
right.
నా పిటిషన్
Right,
అలౌడ్
right.
అయిపోయింది.
So you
అలానే
have to file. You have to file a. You have to file for a visa, F1 visa, if you want to go for higher studies, to the
Yes.
consulate in the US, in a Hyderabad consulate in the US.
అంటే వాళ్ళు
First-
అడిగినప్పండి
First,
ఏం
you have to. First,
Yes,
you
yes.
have to approach a college here in the US, get a
Yes.
I-20, get admission. Once
Yes.
you receive the I-20, then you can apply at the US consulate for a F1 visa. That is the process.
అంటే వాళ్ళు చెప్పగలరా ఎందుకు నీ పైన అంటే ఫైనాన్షియల్ గా ఫుల్ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఉన్నా అనమాట. నేను ప్రాబ్లం లేదు, కానీ బిజినెస్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఈ కామన్ పడుతూనే ఉంటాయి కదా. నేను క్వాష్ కు కూడా పోయినా అనమాట. వాళ్ళు రిజెక్ట్ చేస్తారా నా అప్లికేషన్ ఇట్లా
Well,
కేసెస్
based on if you have a criminal case or a civil case, they could reject your application based on that. But
గవర్నమెంట్
not,
has given permission to me, మేడం. తెలంగాణ
Yes,
హైకోర్ట్ క్లియర్లీ మెన్షన్ దట్ యూ కెన్ ట్రావెల్ ఫర్ ద పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ 2 years అని ఆర్డర్ కాపీ కూడా ఉంది. అప్పుడు ఏమైనా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉంటాయని నాకు క్వశ్చన్ మేడం.
problems ఉంటుండొచ్చు, మనం చెప్పలేము. You have to apply and see what happens. It really depends on what kind of case, what was the, what is the issue there. So you have to apply. Until you apply and you give all the documents to them, you will not know.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Khan Garu. I think one topic veredi, so we'll talk it later. So yes, and Prashanthi Garu, we are having another caller on the line. We'll take that call. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, who is on the line today?
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ మేడం, నా పేరు హర్ష అండి.
హాయ్ అండి హర్ష గారు. యా, మనతో పాటు ప్రశాంతి గారు ఉన్నారు, మీరు వారితో మాట్లాడండి రిగార్డింగ్ వీసాస్.
మేడం, నాది ఫిబ్రవరి 2013 నాది ప్రయారిటీ డేట్ మేడం. అండ్ నాకు సెప్టెంబర్ లాస్ట్ వీక్ లో జీసీ ఇంటర్వ్యూ షెడ్యూల్ అయింది. సో ఐ వాజ్ వండరింగ్, ఇంటర్వ్యూకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు వుడ్ దే ఈవెన్ అలొకేట్ ఏ వీసా నెంబర్ ఆర్ విల్ ఐ బి ఎట్ ద మెర్సీ ఆఫ్ ద నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్స్ visas numbers?
When is your interview scheduled for?
September 28th, madam.
Oh wow, that is very close, right?
Yeah.
So usually if your file is complete at the interview, they do reserve a visa number. They do that. I've seen it so many times. They go into the system and they go onto the website and they reserve a visa number for you. I've seen them do that. Whether they'll do it or not in your case, who knows? But I definitely see them do that at interviews. So if your documents are complete, if there are no issues with your case, they could easily reserve a visa number for you. They're allowed to do that, and I've seen them doing that.
ఓకే, అంటే నాకు ఇంకా ఫిజికల్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ నోటీస్ రాలేదు మేడం. మేబీ మెయిల్ నాకు కేస్ స్టేటస్ అప్డేట్ అయింది. నేను ఎంఆ ఏజెంట్ కి కాల్ చేస్తే చెప్పారు ఇట్లా ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఉంది అని.
Okay.
I don't even know what to take there.
I mean, most probably I don't know about your case, so I cannot answer as to why they're interviewing you. But it could just be that there is some echo coming, Sowjanya.
No, okay. Is it from this side, from our side, there is no echo?
Okay.
Harsha garu, is everything okay from your side?
It is fine, madam. It's
Okay.
audible.
Yeah.
So basically, you have to wait for your interview notice to come. Most of the time in the interview notice, they will say that if you have not submitted medicals, or if the medicals have been submitted more than a year ago, they will ask for a copy of the medicals, or they'll ask you to do medicals again.
October 2021 లో మెడికల్స్ ఇంటర్ఫైల్ చేశాను మేడం.
Interfiling on medicals కాదు. No, they will not. They will ask you for medicals again. So get your medicals done.
అది కూడా ఒక మిస్టేక్ చేశాను మేడం. నేను యాడ్ అయినా లేదు అని ఎఫ్ఐ కూడా చేసి చూసాను. 485 యాడ్ అయ్యి ఉంది. బట్ అగైన్ అందులో హెపటైటిస్ బి లేదేమో అని మళ్ళీ ఇంకొక ఫ్రెష్ కాపీ తీసుకెళ్తే బెటర్ ఏమో అని అనుకుంటున్నాను.
Yeah, take updated medicals. Okay.
Okay.
For your interview, and they will ask for original documents, original birth certificate, original marriage certificates. They'll ask atla original documents. They'll ask if your dependent is going with you as well.
Yes, we both have interview.
Okay. Hello, Prashanthi garu?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So dependent is going as well, then most probably they will ask for joint documents as well to show that there is a bona fide marriage. So these are the documents usually that they ask. So you can be prepared with those documents.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Harsha garu. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, చెప్పండి ప్రశాంత్ గారు. సో మనం ఇందాకలా అప్డేట్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. అండ్ సెప్టెంబర్ లోని మనకి అంటే ఈ ఇయర్ ఇక్కడ ఎండ్ అయిపోయి నెక్స్ట్ న్యూ ఇయర్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి, సో సెప్టెంబర్ లో ఎండ్ అయ్యే లోపల మనకి ఇంకా ఏవైనా అప్డేట్స్ ఉన్నాయి? ఎందుకంటే చూస్తే అసలు ఏమి ఎక్కువ చేంజెస్ ఏమి జరగలేదు అనే ఉంది, రైట్?
Yeah, that's true. If you look at the September visa bulletin, nothing has changed. EB1, EB2, EB3 remains the same. So October visa bulletin, I'm waiting actually to see what will happen. But generally, October visa bulletin every year, what happens is they open up the dates for filing table. So they'll allow you to file based on dates for filing. And always we know dates for filing table is always better than the final action date table. Kada? So that way it might benefit some people. And usually the dates for filing, they allow it from September to usually until January to March. So from September to March or September to January or February, they might allow that. I mean, I'm saying generally based on previous years, what they do. Now, will the final action dates retrogress or will they be a move forward? They might move a little bit, at least in the beginning of the year, because usually new numbers. New numbers are becoming available, so there's a new pool of green cards that are there. So I'm hoping at least in the first part of the fiscal year, some numbers will become available, but I think definitely towards the end of the year or middle of next year, there might be some retrogression. That's something that we should expect. We should expect retrogression by that time.
Okay, nice. So that is what ఇప్పుడు మనం టీవీలో చూడండి, ఆన్లైన్ లో ఉన్నా కూడా there is no change at all in anything, in any bulletin, like any category wise కూడా ఇప్పుడు like
correct,
right? So yeah, ఎందుకంటే as far as we know, unless until they complete all the pending GCs, they will not be going to update anything, I think so, right?
Correct. So as per the latest as of the latest data that they gave us, the Department of State, they are the consulate, Department of State and the consulate. They have processed 450,000 visas as of May 2020. So this is much more than what was processed in the entire year, last year in 2021.
Right.
So based on that, we can think that, the employment-based visas will not have that many excess numbers as before, unless you never know, Sowjanya, suppose maybe there'll be some new law which comes up.
Right.
As you know, there are several new laws that are in the House. Immigration reform is possible. Maybe before the end of the year, there's a lot of movement. There's about 6 bills. That are right now stalled in the House.
Oh my God.
So there's a reconciliation going on. It's passed in the House, not passed in the Senate. So the latest one is the Innovation Act. And all the bills are the same. All the 6 bills are about using of visa numbers, unused visa numbers, removing the numbers completely, giving more numbers to India. So it all centers around that.
Okay, got it.
So we should wait and see what will happen. Only time will tell.
Right.
If Biden is able to meet his other goals, and also put midterm elections, kada. So we don't know. Put Senate ever controlled unto telvadu manaku.
Custom.
Yeah, so that is also another factor. Only time will tell.
Right, time has to tell. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But
So, yeah.
otherwise, for the immigrant visas, they are for the consulates are generally giving priority to immigrant visas. So green card visas, they're giving priority to H1s. They're giving priority to F1s. But
Okay.
visitors visas is at the bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
So if you want a visitor's visa, it will until 2024. There are no dates available. Especially if you're 24. So unless you are an extension, your visa is being extended. You already have a visitor's visa, and you're simply applying for an extension. Then you might be qualified for a visa waiver.
Okay.
You may not need an interview. So in that case, then your visa could be processed faster.
Right.
But if you're going for an interview, then there's definitely a huge backlog.
Right. Got it. Yeah. So yeah, because the thing is nowadays everyone is eagerly waiting for the GCs, right? Green cards and everyone. And many are getting their H4 many people are waiting for their H4 visa stamping, right? Not only in US, even in India also, all the visa stampings are completely stopped. They are not getting their appointments for the H4 visa stamping, right?
Right.
So this is all due to the pandemic. The 2 years have blocked everything.
Sowjanya, partly because of the pandemic, and partly it's just the previous government also refused to just process visas. This was a way for them to stop people from coming into the country because the policies keep changing, right? So depending on the government, the policies change, and this was just an excuse. Everybody is saying that when every other branch of the government is working normally, why the Department of State cannot work normally? So, and why there was so much delay in coming back to normal. Even now they're not normal. So they're saying that it is partly pandemic, but partly it was a conscious policy decision to, allow less people into the country. So, but there is a way to expedite a case for immigrant visa appointment. But it's very, very hard. You have to request that expedite at the consulate level on the website. But obviously, they're not going to approve it unless it's life or death, right? Unless it's a life and death situation, they will not approve that expedite request.
Okay. Yeah. So before taking before proceeding further, we have a call and also we have a question. First of all, we'll take the call and then we will go with the question which we received. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So hi, who is on the call? Hello.
Hi, my name is Venkat.
Hi, Venkat garu. Yeah, you can talk to Prashanthi garu.
Hi, ma'am. Thanks for taking the call.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, my priority date is June 2013, and it has been stuck in the San Bernardino field office since August 1st week. I opened a SR on August 25th. I'm hearing that SR could further delay. So could you give your opinion on that, ma'am?
I don't think a service request will deny your case.
Delay, ma'am. Delay.
Yeah, sorry. I doubt a service request will delay your case. Most people file service requests. Every single 485 has a service request. I doubt that will delay your case. You should do whatever is necessary for them to expedite your case. So I don't think there's something wrong with the service request.
Okay. Ma'am, one more question, please. So I have my EAD and AP that was approved last year as part of the downgrade, the EB3 downgrade. So right now I'm on H1. If I go to India and I use advanced payroll to come back, would that technically make me use EAD, or can I still use H1 And let's say if green card that did not work out, can I get an extension of H1 even after I use AP?
Yeah, so that's $1 million question. A lot of people have this question and they don't get the right answer to it. But USCIS has told us many times that even if you come back on advance parole, as long as you have a valid H1, you can continue on your H1 as if nothing happened. And you can file for extension of your H1 as well, or you can file for an amendment. This is an exception to the rule. Coming back on advance parole doesn't change your status to advance parole. They allow you to file extension, amendment, or transfer of H1 even after you come back on AP.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. That's all I have.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Venkat Garu. So yes, Prashanthi Garu, we have received an email from Suharsha Alapati. So he's asking, what if we have green card interview on September last week? Will they allot the visa number, or we have to be at mercy for next year visa numbers?
The same question another caller asked, right? So they might allot, if your case is complete, documentary complete, if they don't have any further questions, they may reserve a visa number for you on the date of the interview itself.
Okay. Okay, got it. Hello? Yeah. So these are the things. So do you want to share anything, Prashanthi Garu?
Yeah, so we can talk about the H1B cap as well. Move a little bit towards H1. We have been talking about green card a lot. So the other important news is that H1B cap has been met, right? Recently, very recently. So that is that's the latest update on H1s. They have received 483,927 H1B numbers this year.
Okay.
And we know that they have only 85,000, right? 65 for the regular cap and 20,000 for master's cap. So they have received 4 times, 5 times that number. And they actually selected 127,600 cases.
127,600 cases.
They have selected. Even though there's only 85,000, they selected 127,000 because, so about 26% they selected. And they selected a little bit more extra because they know that some people will not file after getting registration. So keeping that in mind, they in advance selected more cases. So last time we know that we had the cap lottery, we had it, the drawing, we had it 3 times. We had it once initially, then we had it again in July, and then again in November. So 3 times they had a lottery pick.
Okay.
This time only 1 time they have the lottery pick. We were expecting they'll have another lottery pick, but they did not have it. So that was a disappointment for a lot of people.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Right.
So all those who are selected, of course, you will get an email saying that you are selected, and also if you go and check in the portal, there will be a letter saying that you are selected, and then it will say as to where you should file your H1.
Okay.
Those who are not selected, the petitions will be first denied and then withdrawn. So it will basically say not selected.
Okay.
So we have received a lot of not selected. All the other cases that were not selected, we are seeing. I mean that were not selected. We are seeing that there is a message now showing. Before it was just saying submitted. Now there's a message saying not selected.
Okay.
So, should I continue, Sowjanya, or you have any questions?
No. One more question. So, since by this September they will complete the pending pending GCs, and 2015 June, or like some the GCs which were filed in 2000 year, when can we expect them?
Who knows, my dear? Nobody knows. I wish I knew the answer to that question.
So I will be waiting for your answer for that particular question.
Yes, you have to wait. There is no other option than to wait.
Because there are many pending diseases that has to be completed, and now 2014 is running, right?
Right. So to 2015. So it's hard to say what is going to happen in October visa bulletin. Is it going to move by a year? I doubt it. I hope it does. But I really did. So previously, there used to be the Department of State head was Charlie Oppenheim.
Okay.
And he would give us some insights. He would have a YouTube channel. He would have YouTube talk show. And in advance, he would give us some insight into what can you expect moving forward. Sometimes that would be correct. Sometimes that would be incorrect. But at least we had some idea.
Right.
So now he is retired. Charlie Oppenheim is retired. And they have not told us that. In fact, we asked this question at the ELA conference. But they're still looking into somebody to replace him so that we can have similar updates as to what to expect in the future months. So right now we are in the dark.
So then to all those who have filed their GCs in 2015 should stay in dark for some more days for all the new updates.
Yeah, right? At least wait until next week.
Next week, okay. Only for 1 week.
Yeah, beginning of September, by September 7th, 8th, we should get the visa bulletin again. Usually that's what's happening.
Right.
So you'll get the October visa bulletin. At least you know what to expect for the month of October and for the new fiscal year, because the new fiscal year starts.
Right.
So October visa bulletin is going to be something to look forward to look at carefully. Right?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Prashanthi, these are the questions from my side. So if you want to share any more updates, you can go ahead, please.
So I just want to go back to the H1B topic.
Okay, sure.
Now that the cap is over, what do we do now in case your case didn't get picked in the lottery, which is like majority, 70% of the cases didn't get picked.
Right.
So 73%. So what is the alternative for them? Is there any alternative? Is something that I wanted to discuss in the time that we have if we don't get any other callers. So one of the alternative they are saying, which is very interesting, but they recently at the ELA conference we were discussing this, is if you're on a F1 right now or any other status, you can file a cap exempt H1. And there are many organizations that file cap exempt H1s for this purpose. So you file a part-time cap exempt H1 through one of these programs. And this program, usually employer has to pay for this program. And one of the companies is Open Avenue Foundation. They do that. And University of the Innovation Center at University of Massachusetts does this. They have this kind of program where employers can enroll. So you do, for example, you do a part-time. And so we know that cap doesn't exist for cap exempt H1s. It's a cap exempt because you're working for the university. It's an educational institute. So you can do a 5 hours a week, say on the weekends. You can do a cap exempt H1. And once that gets approved, you can file a concurrent cap subject H1. As long as you keep both H1s active and you work for both companies. This is one way that you can circumvent the H1B cap. File a cap exempt H1 part-time through one of these organizations, and then once it's approved and you start working, then you file a cap subject H1. So that's one way of doing it. Of course, then going into who is cap exempt and who is not. An institution of higher education, a non-profit that is related to a non-profit related or affiliated to an institution of higher education, a non-profit research organization or a government research organization. All these are cap exempt. So if you have any employer who fits into this bill, then you will definitely, you can file a H1 even though the cap is not there. Now, if you're an IT consulting company, if you're working for an IT consulting company, if the end client is one of those organizations, like if your end client is a university or a hospital, then you can still qualify for cap exempt H1. Something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another alternative to a cap exempt is an L1.
Mm.
So you could file either an L1A or an L1B through your company, as long as you qualify.
Okay.
Now, in order to qualify for an L1, you should have worked for that company in India or wherever in a foreign country for 1 year.
Mm.
If it's an L1A, which is better than L1B, you should have worked as a multinational executive.
Right.
Meaning manager position, executive position for 1 year. The company is sending you here to transfer you to the US organization in the same executive role. And this is also the advantage of this is EB1, which means that your green card will get approved immediately.
Oh, but
because it's current. EB1, all dates are current.
Okay. Okay.
So L1 is definitely an option. Come on an L1. L1A is better than L1B. L1B, again, you have to go through the whole PAM, EB2, EB3 process.
Okay.
Other option is TN.
Okay.
So, Sowjanya, any further questions or you want me to continue?
Yeah, you can continue. Continue.
Okay. Yeah. So TN for if you're a Canadian or a Mexican national, you qualify for a TN. You don't have to wait for H1. So TN visa is pretty similar to a H1 visa. There are certain designated occupations that qualify. For example, software engineer qualifies. So if you qualify for one of those designated occupations, and if you have a bachelor's degree that is related to that occupation, then you come for a TN. TN is very easy because you don't have to apply in the US. You don't apply first and then get the approval and then go to the consulate. You just can go to the border, any border, the US border, and apply there itself. And then and there, they'll give you a TN.
Okay. So what are all the benefits with TN?
The benefit of TN is there's no cap.
Okay.
And the time period, because you can go apply immediately at the border and get a TN. You don't have to wait for USCIS to approve it and then go to you don't have to go to the consulate. So you don't have to wait for an appointment.
Other than that, when like compared to H1 or H4 visas and TN, so are there any benefits other than this, like going to the border and everything? Other than this, when compared to the jobs or anything, do we have any benefits?
Also, it's easier to get a TN when compared to getting a H1 because the scrutiny for a TN is less. Because they're not going to look at specialty occupation, what is the job, who is the end client. It's easier to get it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Then the other option is if you're from Singapore or Chile, then you get something called a H1B1.
Okay.
And they have their own quota. So that's another option.
Okay.
The other one is E3 visa for Singapore. If you're a Singapore national, you get an E3, which is very similar to H1. You have to show that you qualify. But again, that is also, you can just go to the consulate and apply for it. You don't. You just apply for an LCA here, take your LCA, your petitioner letter, go to the consulate, show all your documents, and you get an E3 there. Again, very easy.
Okay.
So E3 is another option if you're from Australia. Then, of course, you have for those countries that qualify, and India doesn't qualify. So I will just say it very quickly. Treaty trader, E1 and E2, which is treaty trader and treaty investor. So if you take citizenship, sometimes they're doing this. They're giving citizenship very quickly for countries like Turkey and other European countries so that you can get the benefit of US immigration. And visa numbers, again, visa numbers don't change, but you can get E2 and E3, and you can come into the country that way. So you have more ways of coming into the country. Okay, another option, and maybe this is our last option, is the F1. If you're on F1, you don't get in the cap, then you apply for CPT. And you work while you're studying. In order to get CPT, you have to show that the job that you're doing is directly related to what you're studying. And the college should approve the CPT.
College has to approve. Okay.
Right? And you have to continue to be a full-time student.
Full-time. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. So college has to approve and you have to be a full-time student. What if by chance the student has to move from that college to another university?
Then they have to transfer
Mm-hmm.
to another college, and then that college has to approve your CPT.
How much time does it take?
So some colleges give CPT immediately, as soon as you join, because it depends on the program. If their curriculum requires that you have practical training along with your classroom training, because it's part of the requirement, then they might approve day one. They call it day one CPT. A lot of students do that, and sometimes when you do that, you might get, when you're ready to file your H1, and when you get a H1 approved, you might get an RFE on your H1 saying that show us on what basis you got your day one CPT, show us documentation from the university saying that why they required day one CPT, show us that the CPT was an integral and essential part of your program, of your master's program. So you might get RFE like that. Usually we respond to those RFEs and they do get approved. But we can never say if they change the way they do things. But that's one way of doing it. Or it could be that you can do OPT also, if not CPT. As you know, if you complete 1 year of college at least, then you get the immediate optional practical training for 1 year. And then you get an additional 2 years if you go to a STEM college.
Okay.
So that's a way of continuing to be on F1 and continuing to try, to get in the cap. That's what a lot of students do.
Okay. Got it.
And last but not the least, is file for green card directly if you're not an Indian, if you're not born in India.
Okay.
Because we know all other countries, the EB2 is current. Or if you're EB1 in India, you can still file directly for a green card from an F1.
Okay.
And get EAD and then start working.
Okay. So lastly, I have one question. In India, see if the child is born in India and he is more than 16 years or 17 years, or he has completed 18 years and his passport goes to verifications, right? So does that process also will be applied to the kids who are born in America?
Passport going for verification. Where does the passport go for verification?
No. For the kids, those who are born in India and their passport renewal, when the passport goes to the renewal and the council, they will go for verifications. Does the process will be applied to all the kids who are born in America also?
No, passport renewal in the US is much easier. They don't have to go. They sometimes do passport renewals within 24 hours, especially if you have an emergency.
No. But normally, who are not like 18 years or above, that will be easy. But what if the kids are more than 70 years or 18 years, like the majors? Do they have verifications also here?
Yeah, but it's even if you're an adult, passport. If you have a US passport, the verification process is different from the Indian passport. So US passport verification is much easier.
Okay.
It doesn't have to go to India for verification because you're not an Indian national, you're a US citizen.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a much easier process. As I said, sometimes people forget that their passport is expired. They book for tickets and then they see last minute. So you can even get it the same day, passport renewals in the US.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So yes, thank you so much, Prashanthi Garu, because in the last minute also, you answered all the doubts, clarified each and every point, and you have shared many more updates regarding all the H4 visas or different types of visas and the green cards. Thank you so much for sparing so much of time for us.
You're welcome so much, Sowjanya. It's my pleasure to be on the show.
Yes, thank you. Hope we have covered all the topics regarding the updates and everything.
Yes, we have.
Yes. Thank you so much, Prashanthi Garu. Very soon again. Once the update is done, once we get all the updates and any changes are made, again we can have one more interview, maybe in October or something, right?
Yeah. Then we'll have more information about the green card processing. By then.
Right. Let's have one more interview in October. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great day. Yeah. Bye. Yes.
Good.
సో ఇదండి మరి ఈ రోజు మనము ఇమిగ్రేషన్ అటార్నీ ప్రశాంతి గారితో చేసిన ఇంటర్వ్యూ. మీ అందరికీ మీ డౌట్స్ క్లారిఫై అయ్యాయి అనుకుంటున్నాం. మళ్ళీ మనం అతి త్వరలో మళ్ళీ కలుద్దాం. అంతవరకు సర్వేజన సుజనా భవంతు.